Alright, welcome back. Time for some games. Let's hop into a queue and see how we are doing. Alright, we found our first opponent. We also happen to have slipped into 13th place while recording the deck tech, so that's nice. And it's a bit power heavy of a hand and has no threat, so I like to redraw this. This is a bit better. Has no Varus favor and a real card instead, and we also got an instigator as early threat and a quarry to find us either another threat or removal depending on what we need, so that's good. Okay, so I think I like to set up Deadly first on the champion here, so I'll play Shadow. Like, we could either go with Fire or Shadow to have turn 3 for champion, and I decided that I'd rather have Deadly in that spot. Let's see what we find. Think. Do I like a 0 power torch better or a 1 power annihilate? I think a 0 power torch is pretty sweet. That's a sabotage. And get rid of the flame blast that threatens to kill our art report next turn. And now we know he doesn't have rapid shot in his hand, which is good to know. And we get to torch his champion. I was about to say, might as well wait to see if we draw into a Stonescar Midrange, and in fact we did, which is great. Playing a champion of chaos there is kind of risky. I think I'm also inclined to attack here, because if he trades, that's good for us with the Maiden, and if he doesn't, he takes 3 and he doesn't really have an attack back, because all he has is an Obliterate he can't use next turn. So unless he drew into a Suffocate, our Maiden is gonna stall both of his units. That's okay. Gonna take 8 here, that's still fine. Close to a Maul. And we get rid of the Obliterate before he gets to play it, which is great. And I think kind of just want to hit for 5 here and hold back the Maiden to stall his units, and hopefully draw into a power for Maul, so we can like Maul one of his small units. Okay, got a Maul next turn, which is fine, and get a bunch of cudgels, which is really nice. Okay, so I think what we want to do here is just prop up this guy some more and go to town, kill him in 2 turns, especially because if he takes now, we basically got him dead with Maul next turn, and if he like blocks, that's good, because then we get cudgels and deal damage either way, so that's great. And even if he would have traded, we got 3 cudgels, 6 damage to his face, and he has no more board left, so this game is over. We got him. Power of Maiden. And as you saw, also kind of the power of Sabotage, because these 2 burn spells really would have made the difference for him between like having a shot at winning this game and losing it, and no card that we could have had instead of Sabotage on these burn spells would have had as much impact, because then we would have been tempoed by the burn spells, killing our blockers and him swinging our face and turning this game into a really close one. Oh, Patrick Chapin, sweet. So we get to battle one of the game designers of the game and have a pretty good hand that we're going to keep. And let's see what P. Chapin is up to at the moment. It's always interesting to see what the game designer designers, which are also very good card players since they are MTG pros, are doing at the moment in this game. So, and Chapin dropping an Oni Ronin is like the last thing you would expect if you know P. Chapin. He's like one of the biggest control aficionados in MTG, and he has had so many bad Pro Tour performances because he was playing control when it wasn't good enough, that it says a lot if he drops at you. But okay, that's fine. We'll Varus favor this in order to instigate a Charchain Flail next turn to set up some tempo plays and gain some board control. Let's see if he's on like the Rakano Jido that Conley is running. Currently it seems like this, but it could also be just a regular Rakano aggro with like a weird draw, since having 3 cards here and 2 power left and not playing anything doesn't quite seem like Jido, but who knows. We're probably gonna get Finest Hour here. Or we don't. No Torch, no Finest Hour. Interesting. I mean, it's very possible that he has either, like I said, and needs it more for the Argent Port rather than counter the removal, because the Argent Port would blank both, as it just did. Okay, so we're gonna quarry first, see what we hit. Not a whole lot, fortunately, but we get to get rid of his last guy, which is nice. And we already have a stash on 2 cards, which is decent. And we even get to get rid of Crownwatch. So yeah, he seems to be on a regular Rakano aggro rather than Rakano Jido, which is interesting, to say the least, in this current environment. And he also runs the Pyronites that I used to like running, so that's sweet. Block here, it's unfortunate that it's silenced, because that makes our double stash a lot worse, but oh well. I guess I might as well just maul this so we get a full power stash for 4 cards next turn, and him not having a unit in play in case he has a Force Power and Hammer of Might. And we even get to stash plus removal or flail. Probably gonna flail here, simply because Annihilate is a bit more flexible against bigger units. Let's just hope he didn't draw into a Finest Hour, and seems like he didn't. So he probably has a Hammer of Might and something else, maybe Hammer of Might and another attachment, maybe like a blade. Probably no power. But yeah, this game seems firmly in our hand. Oh yeah, right, maybe he has a Vanquish. Oh no, he just drew the Vanquish, I think. And he apparently had a power. So this is probably a Hammer of Might, and this is I don't know what, to be honest. Okay, I think I want to just maul here. Apply some pressure and get a weapon in play in case he plays a unit. He's playing Obliterate, interesting. Guess he likes that more than Blade, or maybe plays a mix, who knows. Now we can just check if we can actually play Flail with 0. Nope, we can't. Just as I said, I don't know why we can't equip a 3-1 Flail here. That's just absurd. I don't get it. I'm probably gonna send a feedback message to them and ask what's up with this and hope they change it. He is running Bailiff. Not the biggest surprise, I guess. Get rid of this. And then, like, I guess, kill him. Alright, 2-0. That's nice. And crush Chapin. One more to go, and then we hop into 3 more in the next video. Okay. This is a bit of a borderline hand, but I think since we have double torch and a champion and play a reasonable amount of power, I'm willing to keep it, but it might just be a tad too ambitious to keep with 2 power. But double torch should help a bunch. This is probably some kind of armory. So a turn 3 champion would be a pretty big deal here. And I think, even though I normally like to use this on fire here, I'll just use it on shadow, since we really want this 4-4 champion on turn 3. Yep, we're up against armory, as expected. And don't think I want to torch this. Not really much point torching this. Let's just hope he didn't draw a Sword of Icaria with the enhancement and doesn't have a Vanquish, because then we can Stonescar Banner into Maiden, which is pretty good. Yep, we actually get to do that. That's nice. And yeah, I think I'll Maiden first and then attack, so if he blocks and torches, we get a cudgel and then it's fine. Like, one problem with this would be that it opens us up to get Rune Hammered back, and then we have 0 units and a cudgel, but we have the Maiden and Torch to get rid of the Rune Hammer, so we are in kind of okay shape still. That's a sweet one. Varus Favor is pretty great here, giving us a cudgel to enhance our Maiden. It's pretty good. Helping us a bunch against Runehammer. I guess it's close, like an argument could be made to just drop it on Champion of Chaos instead. But once we have another fire, it would be out of reach of an unenhanced Runehammer anyway. But it doesn't matter now. So I'll just play a Maiden and then we can reload with Stash on these 3. And he's almost dead already through our triple torch. If I draw a power, I'll probably Stash to get a card on here. I think I want to torch here just to reduce his armor for potential weapon that he plays. Third fire. And I think I'll just attack here, and if he trades, that's fine. If he doesn't, we'll just Stash anyway. And now he's at 0 armor, which is great. And we have a pretty beefy hand. This matchup is kind of tough. I'm like 6 and 10 or something against armory, so I'm not doing too hot. It's like one of the decisively negative matchups so far, which is kind of a thing because the deck is fairly popular right now, but since I'm overall still winning like 60% of my games, I don't really mind too much. Alright, so just ship here. And are close to sealing the deal on this game. Thanks to Champion and having double torch protection against whatever relic weapon he might throw at us. Let's just hope he didn't draw one off the top that has the Icaria enhancement, and then we should win this game without a problem. Yep. There you go, Icaria. Bash away at us. We don't care. Bailiff's not gonna cut it here. That's okay. Another one, interesting. Well, we get a bunch of cudgels, I suppose. That should still do the trick. Alright. Oh, that's sweet. Cudgel. Guess we just attack with both. Force him to like block and then kill him with the flail. Alright, the Aegis prevented that. Let's just hope whatever he finds is not big enough. Whoa, that's pretty big, actually. That is quite a big deal, actually. You might just lose to this. Yep. That's like how I usually lose these games, like in a close fashion. One damage short. That was a bummer. But okay, we managed to go to 1, beat P. Chapin, so that's a nice start to kick off the game series with this deck, and stay tuned for 3 more games with this sweet mid-range deck in a moment.